God's blessings to you as we gather for our weekly reflection on faith, justice, peace, and community. I pray that these reflections might stir within each of us a greater desire to come to know the God of love, beauty, mercy, justice, and peace, seeking to be spiritually fed in order to better honor God's love and faithfulness to us in the ways that we care for ourselves and for each other. My sisters and brothers, in the great prophetic tradition, God's messengers were called to challenge the chosen people to a single-minded trust in God and to care for the poor in their society, typically referred to in biblical terms as the widow and the orphan. Through many abuses of power related to greed, social status, and control over others, the people of God have often become the people out for themselves, both in Old Testament times, in Jesus' time, throughout history, and still today. The scriptures for this coming Sunday focus us on two widows. In our first reading, it is a widow who, with her only child, are near death for lack of food. Surprisingly, Elijah the prophet asked the woman, who he knows is starving, to feed him with the last of her food. At first she questions, but seeing Elijah to be a holy man and having a trusting faith in God, she gives him all she has. In return, he secures for her and her child's livelihood all things that they need for the future. The gospel presents a scenario with Jesus as prophet, challenging those who have used their power to the detriment of God's poor. He condemns them, walks away, and then points out to his disciples a woman depositing 2 coins, saying, "Amen, I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all the other contributors to the treasury, for they have all contributed from their surplus wealth, but she, from her poverty, has contributed all she had, her whole livelihood." Now, this is a poor woman who trustingly gives of what little she has, trusting that God will still provide all the basics she needs to live. She is a woman of deep faith, aware of God's deep love and compassionate care for her. Both of these widows challenge each of us to examine the depth of our own trust in God. Are we willing to offer support for the poor and the disenfranchised, for refugees and victims of war, famine, natural disaster, and other forces? Not only sharing out of our surplus wealth, but even out of our own need, because God has revealed to us those who have a greater need. Are we willing to trust, if we offer the fullness of our time, talent, and treasure, that God will provide for us what we are lacking? That's the kind of trust God asks of us, not just to tithe, giving 10% of our treasure, time, and talent to help our church fulfill their mission and care for the poor, but to also examine the ways that we are responsibly using the other 90% of our gifts. On behalf of the Catholic Christian family here at St. Agatha, again, I want to thank you for all the ways that you continue to allow the Lord to work through you, with you, and in you. We hope you will join us this Sunday for our Masses in person at 8 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. or online at 8 a.m. and available online afterward. No matter in person or online, we hope to see you there. This coming Sunday, we are having our special Remembrance Mass for those who have lost loved ones in this past year. We hope you will join us for that special celebration at 10:30 Mass. And again, thank you, and in all things, be blessed.